These 5 Scream 7 fan theories are so ridiculous that they shouldn't work, but they might.
I'm gonna burn it all down. Mother!
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking into 5 Scream 7 fan theories that are just so ridiculous and unhinged that they shouldn't work, but that doesn't mean they won't work, and it also doesn't mean that they won't come true. Now, the 5 theories that I've chosen are theories that I've read online that we get the most hate towards. So if somebody says, this is the theory that I have, if we get so many comments below it to say that people didn't like the theory and they think they're stupid for putting that theory down, then that one might be in this list. Now, the theories aren't exclusive to you guys. There is one in here that I actually want to happen that I know that a lot of people don't. Therefore, it has to be included on this list. So it's 5 that I've chosen today. The first one is the Ghostface cult. Now, this one is a theory that there is a mastermind behind all the killings, maybe not just in Ghost and not just in Scream 7, but in potential films before it, like Scream 5 and Scream 6, where there's this mastermind that tells people to go out and kill people under the Ghostface cult, and they're the ones that are leading it. This idea actually goes back to a real script back in Scream 3 when Kevin Williamson had the idea that Stu survived Scream 1, yes he did, and he's in prison and he is orchestrating kills from inside the prison to people out in the real world. So he's still able to kill people, Marilyn Manson style, from behind bars. Because Scream 7 is so stacked in the cast, there's so many actors in this movie, so many unknown people in this movie that we don't know what the role is as well, that a cult of Ghostface isn't beyond the realms of possibility. It could still happen. I don't think it will. I also don't think it should. I personally think it's ridiculous. It goes against the grain for the Scream franchise. I think it also over-explains a franchise that is naturally so messy in formula. Every Scream character, every Ghostface from the previous movies has a more intimate and different motive behind them rather than having this organized cult. However, though, with the days of social media, online communities, it doesn't again go against the grain that there is this cult, this group of people that come together and organize this Ghostface cult. So I wouldn't rule against it. I just hope it doesn't happen. Next up is the AI theory, and the general theory of AI for the movie is because characters like Roman Bridger and Stu Macher and Dewey are coming back in some form, then people automatically assume it's going to be AI. Now, the people that think it's going to be AI are usually younger audiences, maybe the Gen Z audience, that have maybe they only have an interest in Scream 5 and Scream 6, and they completely forget, or they haven't even seen Scream 3, where they've got the voice changer that can use other people's voices. Now, if they wanted to do changing voices, they don't have to use AI. They could just go back to the same voice changer that they used for Scream 3. But they are asking, well, if it's not AI, how else will these characters return? Because the characters are returning. Well, there's multiple ways that these dead characters can return. One, they can go back to a flashback where they're younger again before they die. That's the most plausible explanation. Another could be they're actually not dead. Now, of course, characters like Roman and Dewey are definitely dead. Or they could go the Randy route where they have recorded a video of themselves before they died. So there's multiple ways that these dead characters can come back. It doesn't always have to be AI. Now, I think this is the most ridiculous one out of them all that I'm reading today. And hopefully they don't comment on the social commentary aspect of AI. I know that a lot of people hate AI because they're taking people's jobs. They're not. AI is just a new technology, and it's came around in a time where people like to be offended and create this hate online. So I think if they're going to be using AI, I think that's the route they'll probably go in the movie with the social commentary aspect of AI. I just personally don't think they're going to use AI to bring back dead characters. Is it going to be like a hologram or something? I know, again, this goes to the younger audience. when someone sees a video online that's real, if it looks like it might not be real, you see it in the comment section. That's AI. That's AI. Even popular videos that we all know is not AI, they'll comment below AI. Like, they use the word AI to just throw things aside as if, no, don't believe it, it's AI. So I do think AI is a possibility for Scream 7, but like I said, I think it's going to be in a social commentary aspect where AI gets used to take people's jobs, etc. That's maybe to the extent that they'll use AI in the movie. I personally don't think they're going to be using AI to bring back dead characters, still being dead, of course, but just to show them to Sydney to make her think, oh my God, you're alive. Sydney is an adult. She's not a teenager. She won't believe any of the things that maybe young audiences would believe in real life, like seeing videos on Twitter and going, oh, I think that's AI. Sydney doesn't have time for that. She's too old for that, and she's too smart for that. The next theory is Stu Macher is alive. Now, I won't touch on this too much. I'll maybe go into it a little bit because we have spoken about this one to death. I personally think Stu Macher could still be alive. If he's dead, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I know that in the last videos that I was doing for Scream 5 and 6, where I would say, I hope Stu comes back. And then when he doesn't come back, people are saying, ha ha, you were wrong. You must hate the movie. And I'm like, no, it was just a theory that I had. And it's a theory that I will continue to have until the franchise is done. That's the thing about franchises. If a franchise is still going, there's a possibility of a retcon. Scream has already dealt with retcons in the past. Other franchises have also dealt with retcons. A retcon would be changing something from the past to suit your new narrative for the future in the same timeline. Similar to Sydney having an 18-year-old daughter in Scream 7, that is essentially a retcon because they never mentioned her having that age of a daughter in Scream 4. So that is essentially a retcon, whether you believe it or not, it is. So if you can retcon that, then you can retcon characters like Stu coming back because it's not 100% that he died. And if you go back to Kevin Williamson, he did write Stu being alive in Scream 3. And Kevin Williamson is coming back to direct Scream 7. So it's, again, not beyond the realms of possibility for Stu Macher to return. For this theory, though, I don't have a lot of issues with it. I don't have a lot of counter arguments because there is all the plausible ways to bring Stu Macher back, and there's not really anything to suggest that he couldn't survive what he survived, especially after what we witnessed in Scream 4, 5 and 6, with Kirby surviving Scream 4, Chad surviving Scream 5 and 6, Mindy surviving Scream 6, Kirby surviving Scream 6, everyone gets stabbed in Scream 6, probably more so than Stu Macher did in Scream. Of course, he had the TV falling on his head, but who knows? Next up, we have the Carpenter sisters and their mother plot, and people thinking that they might still make an appearance in Scream 7. There's a possibility of maybe Sam and Tara being the killers in Scream 7. Now, that is ridiculous, and I don't think that's going to happen. However, if that did happen, that would be probably the biggest surprise in the Scream franchise, even bigger than Stu Macher being revealed as the Ghostface killer. I think them being revealed as the killers would be kind of genius, to be honest. The other part of that is the unanswered questions about their mother. Is it Christine or Christina? There's a lot of unanswered questions regarding her, but I don't think they need to be answered now because Sam and Tara are no longer part of the franchise. If they were, then I think those questions would need to be answered. And I even had a theory early on where their mother was obviously the girlfriend of Billy, and she was part of the killing of Casey Becker. When I heard rumours that Drew Barrymore might come back to reprise her role, I would suggest that that would be a flashback. And if it was a flashback, they could show the events leading up to Casey and Steve being killed by Stu, Billy, and a potential third villain, and that would be Sam and Tara's mother. I don't think that's going to happen now, but that is still part of the theory. That would also enforce the fact that Sam went a little nuts in Scream 5 and possibly Scream 6. So there's something building up in Sam's character that we just didn't see because obviously Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are no longer part of the franchise. If they were, then I think that theory would still be strong and it could potentially happen. But because they're no longer part of the project, then I think that just falls flat in its face now. The fifth and final one that I have is It Was All a Dream. And when I say it was all a dream, only Scream 5 and Scream 6 were all a dream. And I think the reason that people wanted that to be the case is they want to bring Dewey back. Dewey is obviously dead with the events of Scream 5. And by erasing Scream 5 and 6 as just dreams, not just erasing them and starting from Scream 4 again, the events of Scream 5 and 6 happen as a dream, so they're still canon, still officially canon in the franchise, and it keeps the franchise intact, unlike other franchises. But making it a dream, whose dream? Maybe Dewey's dream, maybe Sydney's dream, but I think the biggest reason to do it is to bring Dewey back. I think that's too big of a thing to do just to bring back a beloved character. Yes, we all love Dewey, but I don't think we love him that much to just erase two full movies. I think that's too much to do, especially when you see Chad Mindy in Scream 7, which means the events of Scream 5 and 6 had to have happened, because how could Dewey and or Sydney dream about these characters that possibly don't exist? Another reason to make it a dream is Sydney didn't have much to do in Scream 5, and obviously she wasn't even in Scream 6, so I don't know how she could dream about Scream 6, so I don't think it would be Sydney's dream. It would have to be Dewey's dream. But erasing those two movies just for a couple of characters and for a couple of reasons, I think is ridiculous. Something that Scream does well is it calls out its own bad writing, something that I've noticed within the franchise. If they do something that the fans don't like, they kind of fix that, not retcon or change it, but they fix that in the next movie by addressing it to the audience. I can't even think of an example, but they would say to the audience, yes, we know that what we done in the last movie was bad, let us fix that. That's the running joke with the Scream franchise. So they can fix things. They just can't bring people back from the dead that definitely died. I know that we're talking about retconning Stu coming back, for example, but that's because there's a possibility for Stu coming back. When you look at characters like Dewey, he's dead as a dodo. So which of these ridiculous theories are you secretly wanting to come true, guys? For me, it is Stu Macher to return. If he doesn't return, I won't cry about it like some people suggested. If he returns, then great. If he doesn't return, then I'm fine with it. The funny thing is, though, if he does return, I think I will still be shocked and surprised, because there comes a point where you want something to happen so much that you expect it not to happen. So if Stu does return in the capacity that I want, I think I'll be surprised. Tell me in the comment section, guys, which theory here would you like to see come true? And if you have another theory that's not on this list, then let me know that theory down below. And as always, thanks a lot for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you soon.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played Skin the Cat?
Someone's in the back!